WLNS is here for you, celebrating 75 years of bringing you the news with 6 News at 5.
President Trump is renaming the Department of Defense the Department of War. It's our top story at 5. Thanks for joining us. I'm Jorma Duran. President Trump made the name change announcement today, but it takes an act of Congress to rename the department, so the White House is calling the Department of War a secondary title. The change comes as the administration is escalating its war on drugs in the Caribbean. Torian Small is here for you now with the latest from Washington.
President Trump is signing an executive order renaming the Department of Defense by reviving the Department of War. The president can't technically change the name of the department. That can only be done by Congress. But the order adds a secondary name so that the Republican lawmakers are on war better reflects the mission of the military and sends a message of deterrence to America's enemies.
Peace through strength has to mean something.
The move comes as the Pentagon is stepping up the war on drugs in the Caribbean. Earlier this week, the military destroyed a boat the administration claims was carrying drugs and 11 gang members for Tren de Agua, or TDA, which the U.S. says is supported by the Venezuelan government.
At the DoD, our job is to defeat imminent threats. A foreign terrorist organization poisoning your people with drugs coming from a drug cartel is no different than Al-Qaeda, and they'll be treated as such. The Pentagon said 2 Venezuelan fighter jets buzzed a U.S. Navy vessel and warned against any further interference with U.S. military operations. And now 10 U.S. F-35s are on the move to Puerto Rico to assist in the region. Torian Small, CBS News, the White House.
Senator Elissa Slotkin outlined her vision for U.S. national security at the Council on Foreign Relations today, saying most Americans have lost confidence in foreign policy and that the shrinking middle class is the biggest risk to U.S. stability. Senator Slotkin said her plan rests on 3 pillars that will define American security for the next 50 years. Treat economic security as national security and be ruthless about growing the middle class. Win the tech race, especially in artificial intelligence, and rethink how the U.S. protects Americans when they are on the front lines.
In the years since I left the Pentagon, the world seems increasingly chaotic, contested, and out of control. Authoritarian powers are on the march, coercing smaller neighbors. A full-blown revolution in technology is underway. Institutions we all grew up with are fading. The global economy is fragmenting. We all know, especially in this room, that the old playbook isn't working, and we don't yet know what the new playbook looks like.
To see her full remarks, head to our website, WLNS.com. Students at Lansing Eastern High School took part in a nationwide walkout today to demand action against gun violence. According to the activist group Students Demand Action, it's in response to the recent deadly school shooting in Minneapolis. Students at schools around the country, including at Eastern, started walking out at noon, demanding lawmakers do something to stop the violence. That's not the only local event taking place involving the tragic shooting in Minneapolis. One Holt woman wants to make a difference by tie-dyeing shirts and donating the funds to gun safety groups in a campaign she's calling She Ran Barefoot. Taryn Simmons spoke to that woman, and she's here for you now with her efforts for change.
There you go.
Holt resident Jasmine McJames' closet is full of all things colorful and bright, but not just because she likes the color of the rainbow.
The whole entire point of creating the t-shirt for She Ran Barefoot is to promote sales for a donation to Moms Demand Action.
Each shirt carefully dyed and printed with large black letters, She Ran Barefoot. A phrase McJames says erupted from a shocking photo she saw online. And that photo is what inspired her to create the campaign to sell her t-shirts from her business, The Main Drag Print Shop.
She's running, she stops to take her slide. She has mules or dressy shoes on, and it's making it harder for her to run. So she removes her shoes and she just takes off running.
Which is why McJames made a TikTok video in solidarity for the mother who sprinted in the middle of the street in hopes of reaching her child.
I have 2 children of my own, and I know that in that moment I would have done the same thing. So I set up my phone in a TikTok-y social content creator way, and I just took off running into the sunset.
So far, she sold 18 shirts and made over $100 worth of sales. But she says there's no set limit on donations. That's why McJames will continue to tie-dye shirts in hopes of a better, safer America.
7.6 million people have seen my video, which has brought awareness that might otherwise not have been existed.
All of the funds will be donated to the Moms Demand Action branch in Minnesota. Here for you in Holt, Taryn Simmons, 6 News.
The First State Prison's Armory building is getting a new life as a farmer's market. 6 News Jackson Bureau reporter Sean Graney spoke to some farmers and the founder of Grow Jackson about how this would transform a historic Michigan landmark.
As farmers sell produce here, plans are in motion to make this same kind of market a fixture at the historic prison site. And officials say it will not only bring more fresh foods to Jackson, but also economic growth.
Do you want a watermelon too, or just a cantaloupe, honey? Just a cantaloupe. Okay, so $12.50.
This is Williams Farms pop-up shop from Hudson, one of many out-of-town farmers markets around the city. They say they take pride in providing healthy food options in Jackson and all of mid-Michigan.
We think it's important for people to eat fresh. We try to keep our prices as reasonable as we can.
Thanks in part to a $580,000 Spark grant from the Michigan Department of Natural Resources, nonprofit Grow Jackson, along with the County Parks Department, are turning the Armory building into a community market for all farmers to grow and families to build.
This is going to be a rising tides lifts all boats situation. Like the addition of the grocery store is going to raise home values. It's going to improve placemaking.
Jacob Inocencio says the new plan would boost the economy by adding jobs, an alternate hub for groceries, and put more money back into farmers' pockets.
And so the farmers will keep 70%, we'll keep 30% for operations, and this allows farmers to sell their product without having to go sit at market, but still retain the farmers market to have those community connections and relationships.
As a produce farmer for over 3 decades, Deborah Williams says she is happy someone is finally creating a larger public market for all.
I think it's a great idea. I personally couldn't do it. I've already got my hands full, but I think it's great to bring more fresh to Jackson. We can't bring enough.
Inocencio says the partnership proposal still needs park board approval, and the lease will be discussed before organizers can plant the seeds for the farmers market. Here for you in Jackson, Sean Graney, 6 News.
From Storm Tracker 6, this is Weather First, sponsored by Auto Owners Insurance. Simple human sense.
It has been a very breezy Friday across mid-Michigan. Take a look at some of the peak winds that we had across the area today. Up to 41 miles per hour off to our west over near the lakeshore in Muskegon. They were at 36 miles per hour for their peak wind speed in areas like Howell, Detroit, Mount Pleasant, and over in Coldwater as well. Winds have already begun to calm down, and that trend will continue as we go throughout the next several hours here. Notice by the time we hit 7 o'clock, winds will be gusting between 15 up to 25 miles per hour. Those wind speeds and wind gusts will be a lot calmer overnight tonight. There's going to be a slight uptick in those wind speeds as we move into our Saturday. Maximum wind gusts at that point in time still going to be hovering right around the 25 mile per hour mark. Not only was it very breezy today, but also fairly cool as well. Temperatures only making it up into the mid 60s for highs. Even though we are cool, satellite and radar still shows us dry and mostly cloudy across the entire region. We hold on to dry and mostly cloudy conditions as we go throughout the overnight hours tonight, staying mostly cloudy as we go into our Saturday as well. But because we have this cooler air mass in place and some very strong winds that will be coming out of the northwest, there's still a very small chance that we squeeze out a couple of isolated sprinkles Saturday afternoon. Better chance for precipitation Saturday night into early Sunday morning. Rainfall totals overall going to be incredibly minimal. At most, we're looking at half of an inch of rain, and more dry weather moving in just in time for our Sunday. A lot more in the way of sunshine going to be possible by then as well. Outside right now, notice a lot of cloud cover here in Lansing, but still a couple of peaks of sunshine are present. We only made it up to a high of 66 degrees across the area today. Combine that with a peak wind gust of 39 miles per hour. Similar situation over in Grand Ledge. Notice the camera still a little shaky because of the breezy conditions that we still are dealing with across the region. Speaking of, they had a peak wind gust of 27 miles per hour. Temperatures currently sitting at 63 degrees after a high of 65. This morning, not too bad, all things considered, only waking up to temperatures in the upper 40s. We're at 46 degrees for our morning low over in Jackson, making it up to a high of 69, currently sitting right at 64 degrees. And our final stop in the city of Hillsdale, still dealing with those mostly cloudy skies. Temperatures at 65 after a high of 68, and that peak wind gust up to 27 miles per hour. Overnight tonight, we stay dry and mostly cloudy. Overnight lows yet again cooling down into the upper 40s. For tomorrow, we are mainly mostly cloudy, slight chance of an isolated sprinkle, but that will only come along with a high temperature of 62 degrees, so going to be a lot cooler across the region by then. Good news is gradual warming trend will begin just in time for Sunday. We are partly cloudy across the area, right back into the 70s early next week, upper 70s by the time we get into Wednesday. By then, overnight lows will be warmer as well, low 50s. We still have a beautiful weekend for next weekend and still a lot of pleasant seasonable temperatures to look forward to.
I like the words that you're using. Super windy today.
I know, it was.
I thought of you earlier because you were perfect. You warned us for the past 3-4 days.
Yeah.
It was there.
I always love it when I'm right like that.
It's 99.9% of the time.
I'm never wrong.
I know.
Exactly.
Fact,
Teresa just said I'm never wrong.
Well, coming up on 6 News at 5, the jobs report turned out to be another dud, even with a Trump-appointed commissioner of the Bureau of Labor Statistics. Find out why some say it's only going to get worse. 6 News at 5. We'll be right back.